Hey y'all! We're in a different setting today. We're in my car. My car's messy because that's real life. We are going on a field trip today. We're going to visit my friend Christina, who is going to tell us all about her weird eating habits, which are really not that weird. They're actually quite healthy. She is a dear friend of mine, and she is a vegan, and she is going to tell us about why she does the vegan lifestyle, vegan diet. She's going to prepare some food for me. She's going to tell me about the benefits and, you know, just like maybe even how to shop for it and some of the things that I just don't know, that I just don't fully understand. I feel like my phone is shaking a little bit. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's go on in. Behind the blue door.
Take one.
Christina.
Action.
All right, so I'm thinking about doing for my next me versus her installment, potentially like vegan, vegetarian, maybe not vegan, I think just maybe vegetarian diet for at least a week. And you have made me vegetarian and vegan meals in the past, and they're delicious. Like, I don't know why I put it off. I don't know why I think I have to have meat in my mouth all the time. I don't. Because vegan and vegetarian is just fine. And I think a lot of people have misunderstandings about why people are vegan and vegetarian, and they think it's just for like one reason, and it's because you're like a weird hippie. But you're not. I mean, you've got a little hippie streak in you.
Little bit.
But you do it for a multiple of reasons. You do it for like fivefold reasons. You do it for ethical reasons. You don't really like to hurt the animals.
No.
You do it for health reasons. You do it for cutting down on like fertilizers and pesticides, and so you do organic as well. And you just have so many layers to your diet. So
That's a fact.
yeah.
I can't keep
Well,
it straight.
Yeah, you actually
try.
do quite an impressive job of keeping things straight, Amber, I have to say.
I try.
And it's not that it is something that I totally keep straight all the time. I certainly don't live it all the time, but it is something that has evolved since probably the age of 19, 20 years old, and I'm now not 19 or 20. We're around the same age, we'll say, in our 40s, later 40s. However, the way we've lived, maybe it could even be older than that in perceived biological age, as they call it. But I think for me, it has been an evolution. It's a journey. Health is really important for all of us to feel well, but also to perform well and to be your best self for not only you, but for those that you love.
When was the last time you remember having meat? Not meat that's snuck in.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you remember having chicken or pork or beef or...
Yeah, you know, I it's just been so I went vegetarian officially, I want to say probably when I was 20 or 21. And that was after kind of a willful progression of eliminating the red meat. Loved burgers. They made me feel terrible. So probably my 19th year, I was probably done with burgers and sausage. Also, one of my favorite things as an Italian Jersey girl, sausage and peppers. I love that. So I'd say probably 19 or 20. Chicken, I just remember cooking that pretty regularly in my kitchen, and because you stop eating the red meat and you stop eating the sausage and the processed meat and the things that the doctor says, oh, you know, move to the white meat, to the pork and to the chicken, it still is not something necessarily that was serving me, and you end up doing so much overboard on those other things, thinking that's, you have to get this protein and you have to get this animal protein to subsist. I think chicken, I remember it was like a fast food kind of situation sandwich that I ate, and I was just like, and the ham, the last thing I ate was a Dairy Mart, which is like a fast food, you know, whatever. It's like like a gas station essentially in Morgantown, a Dairy Mart ham. Like we used to have like these strombolis, and this thing burned my mouth because it was like hot ham water, and I was like, this
ham water.
Yeah, this is nothing I want to be a part of.
All right. So you originally started going vegetarian and then later evolving into veganism.
Much later
because of your family's health history, and then you realized that by eliminating certain meat products and replacing them with vegetable-based protein sources, you started to feel better. Like you didn't even see. Now this is something we were talking about this earlier. Like I think you know there's this catchphrase going around now, and I've heard you use it many times, of anti-inflammatory. And to me, in my head, inflammation means like I feel bloated and my fingers feel sore and kind of stiff to bend, particularly in the morning. And I do notice like there are certain things that I eat that lead to that feeling the next day. If I have Chinese food, which is, you know, I'm gonna put the soy sauce on it and it's high in sodium, and I have an increased salt intake in my life, my fingers feel stiff the next morning and my belly feels a little bit fuller and rounder than it did the day before. And it's not from a weight gain per se, it's because I feel bloated. So in my mind, inflammation and bloating is the same thing, but there's like internal things that get inflamed as well. You can have an inflamed gut, you were saying, so that is leading to like gas issues and things like that, correct?
Can't always be a bad thing. Inflammation in our diet generally is caused by eating the things that make it harder for your body to work, but that also work against your body's regenerative process of cell regrowth, cell healing. And so, you know, the cellular kind of function, the mitochondria, you hear about the mitochondria in the body, those are the systems that basically keep your body working optimally for resting at night and healing overnight. Your body's constant is your natural kind of response to your body needing to kind of fight what's coming in. And so these foods,
so inflammation can be good.
Inflammation can be good, not necessarily in your diet. Inflammation is natural. You're gonna be feeding it everything that it needs to keep going every day. And the more you feed that's heavy, that's the heavy fats, the processed foods, the sugar, as you know.
When I started, and it's been over 1.5 years now, I started a diet plan, and I say diet,
the lifestyle plan.
The lifestyle plan. It was a diet plan in that it did have to do with eating, and it did have to do with the ultimate goal of losing weight and feeling better. But it was a diet in that this is the systems that I'm eating. And one of the first steps that I had to do in this plan was to start reading labels. And labels are horrifying. Once you actually start turning around to the back of your ketchup, to the back of your soup, to the back of all of these different things, and reading the garbage that you're putting in your body, first off, you can't even hardly pronounce, you know, a majority of the words. And secondly, there's added sugar in everything, it seems. I mean, it's just like, it's abundant. And I mean, I'm okay with natural sugars now, but even that I want to do in moderation. And I can feel a dramatic difference after being, you know, 1 year plus of really watching my sugar intake. I certainly don't do it to the hardcore extent that I did when I was actively engaged in this lifestyle change. But I do try to keep my added sugars, you know, when I'm reading the back of a label, I try to keep my added sugars 2 or 3 or below grams of sugar. I see a dramatic weight change in me. I lost 27 pounds in a matter of like
4 months or something.
It wasn't even that long. I think it was like 6 to 7 weeks. I mean, I lost it, but my energy level changed. Like I remembered hearing this saying years and years ago, you put garbage in, you get garbage out. And so I was like, you know what? I've really like stopped putting garbage in my body, and I'm not getting garbage out anymore. You know, like before I would eat lunch and I would feel very lethargic within like a half an hour, 45 minutes of eating lunch. And I was like, oh, well, that's just, you know, that's just a reality. I ate, and now all of my energy is going to my stomach to digest. And that's really not, that doesn't have to be the reality. And I think so many people are so used to eating things that they probably shouldn't be putting in their body, or if they do put it in their body, it should definitely be in moderation. I think they get used to this feeling
of I'm digesting, so I'm low on energy. I just ate, I need a nap. I just ate, oh, it's an hour later, it's time for my afternoon coffee in order to get my energy level back
drink
up.
that's
or an
stacked
energy
with sugar.
drink that's stacked. It's just like, it's basically carbonated sugar water. And these things are just like, it makes your whole energy level throughout the day just go up and down and up and down and up and down. And I mean, I look at you, and I've known you for several years now. You're constant energy. You're like, what's next? And I mean, I'm getting like that now too, because
it's natural.
When you cut, I did it cutting out sugars, and a byproduct, an incidental thing of cutting out sugars was I started to eat healthier.
Right.
I didn't even intend to eat healthier. It just happened because I was cutting out sugars.
And you're reading labels, and
I'm reading labels, and I'm becoming more
aware.
So you get most of your protein from plant-based.
Yeah.
So lentils, beans, and you have figured out how to make them not just savory, like your main course, but you also you sneak veggies into your sweets. Because you do still eat sweets, and you sweeten with agave.
I don't use agave. I do
agave.
syrup, and I do coconut sugar,
That's right.
date
syrup.
dates. Yeah, maple syrup.
Yeah.
Again, very clean, beautiful maple syrup.
Yeah.
Not garbage. Not corn syrup.
Not corn syrup, real maple syrup.
Yeah.
So you take what I think most people are thinking about as a savory meat substitute, and you make it into brownies and protein bites, and you have agreed.
You listen.
I listen.
You listen, and you are one of my taste testers.
I listen to you. I'm one of your taste testers, and when you do make meals for me, wow. I mean, like, I don't think you've ever made me anything that I really didn't like.
Aside from my smoothies that we're, it's just
they're not smoothie, they're gritties.
It's just a lifestyle thing. Yeah, you got to be into it. But I appreciate you trying the food.
I try everything. So you make protein balls on the regular.
Yeah.
You have this delicious dressing that you make regularly as well. You made several times for me some kind of, I guess, coconut milk yogurt.
Yeah.
Parfait.
We'll call it a parfait.
Parfait type of thing. Those were bomb.
Yeah.
Man, those were really good. Like, you have, over years, I'm sure, evolved into an actually phenomenal cook.
Well, that's very kind.
With limited things, and I say limited, actually, I mean, you have a ton of things that you can cook with, but limited according to the traditional Western diet. And your stuff is great, and I can't wait for you to share some recipes.
Pantry is totally insane. I have a lot of stuff in my pantry, so we might just take pictures and see what's going on.
Let's look at your pantry.
Let's just
share. And let's snack. I'm ready to snack. All right.
My favorite